Okay, we back at it again. This is the Yap Session number 4, and well, I wasn't here during class this Monday, and that is I can blame my mother for that because she's very adamant in participating in the uh, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like the Hispanic. Like no work, no, don't go to school, don't do nothing, or something like that. And that was on Monday. And well, I can't fight against my mom because that's my mom. And I personally, I don't want to get beat. So I had to listen to her. And well, I just didn't go to school that day. Do I regret it? Yes. But what am I going to do against my mom? Anyways, though, it's been an interesting week. I kind of lost $100 from betting on the Super Bowl. None of my parlays hit. I was hoping the Chiefs would get some more points or just some more yards, but no. I was 5 yards away from making $50, and I was so upset. But it is what it is. Okay. Let's get back to the main material. So, what we learned about was a lot of forensic psychology and the polygraphs. So what I was doing was I was listening to the interview that you were doing, while also reading through the lecture, which I wasn't there to listen to, so I had to read the lecture. Not the same, but it is what it is. There's nothing much I can do. So I did what I had to do. One thing in the interview that really stood out to me was how polygraphs really like what they really do. So yes, they monitor like your breaths, like how much you sweat. What else was it? Your heart rate. They measure all that to see if it changes to try to figure out if you have ill intentions or what you're saying, or like maybe it's not the truth, like maybe you're lying. And something that he connected it to that I found really funny was if your mom tells you to not take a cookie from like the cookie jar, and then she catches you, you instinctively put the cookie behind you because you know you're gonna get in trouble, like because you're doing something that that you're not supposed to do. So your body does that; it reacts on its own. Like you didn't think about putting it behind your back. Your mind did that already because as he said, it's a flight or fight reaction. And that's what your body instinctively does. It's the initial action or thought. And that's what the polygraph is like trying to like capture. And well, I thought that was like really funny because that's like a really simple way of explaining it. Like just the cookie, example. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool example. And the question I wanted to ask about that like subject is that what if the person's like a really good liar or something? Because I know like what it's supposed to do is like initial like thought, try to like grab that, figure out if he's lying or not or telling the truth. But because I know some good liars, because like there could be people that like lie with the straightest face. Like they could like say, oh yeah, I was doing that and all that. Like just like say something, like they just lie. And then just like, you'll never know because they're a good liar. Like straight face, they like react completely normal. What if that happens? Like so what if like the machine doesn't work because of that? Like is there another option that you're supposed to do? Another question that I had was, well, I'm assuming it would be obvious to not use the polygraph, but what if they're like mentally ill? Like they're not in the right mind. Like you know what I mean, but like yeah, what happens then? Do you just not use the polygraph? Like you say, okay, we can't use the polygraph because it could not be like effective due to the fact that it's not gonna work normally as it should, because this is a new, different type of situation that the polygraph isn't meant for specifically. Unless you guys have special polygraphs, which I don't know. Also, they said that the polygraphs, like, they're not really usable in court due to the like inconsistency and, well, because apparently they have controversy about it, which I would understand, because I feel like the polygraphs or the lie detectors could not be that reliable, because, well, everything's prone to mistakes. Machines make mistakes. We make mistakes. So I understand, but like, is there any situation where it would be used in court, or are they just like completely abolished? Because I did some research and it was very vague. Like in one of the sources that you gave us about polygraphs, like it was pretty vague. Like during the lecture, I was looking at that, and it just said that it's in most courts, it is like banned. Like, so I'm just I don't know. It's so bad. Oh, I wish I was in the class. Oh, another thing that I also found really cool is that apparently, what the main focus of the polygraph isn't to be a lie detector. It's to condition people to tell the truth, because they see that, as before I was talking about the cookie the cookie example, like, you're scared of the outcome of being caught. So imagine your mother from the cookie example being the polygraph. Like, you're gonna want to tell the truth, because you know you know what's gonna happen if you don't tell the truth. Like, if you're lying, you're gonna get a harsher sentence. You're gonna get more punishment if you don't tell the truth. And if you do tell the truth, well, like, it's a better outcome for you overall. And that was kind of cool, because I always thought lie detectors were like, the main focus was to detect any lies. And one last question that I did have was, like, how far in the future do you think it will take in order to like solidify the polygraphs to, like, for actual evidence? Like, how close are we to advance the polygraphs as much in order to do that? That's a really weird question that I'm asking. It's kind of dumb, but like, it's just a very hypothetical question. Like, because I wonder if we would ever be in a world where the polygraphs could be used for evidence. Like, they're so advanced that either it forces the person to tell the truth, or if they don't tell the truth, like, no matter what, no fail, we know he's telling a lie. And I wonder if that will ever be a case, like, if that will ever be a scenario in the law enforcement world. One last thing I wanted to bring up was the men's raw. Well, it was in the website you also added of what is forensic psychology. And I thought that was interesting, of how that's like considered a whole scenario in its own, like, where people are like not in the right thought during the time of crime, where, you know, they commit it, cause, like, in a form of insanity. And I thought that was cool, because that's like its own, like, that's like an actual situation that you guys come across apparently more often than not, more often than you would think. So they have their own category for it. And I thought that was like it's like kind of scary, the fact that how our human mind seems to go through many stages of like I don't know the word. It's like so many different stages of emotions, where we could be insane in one and then just completely fine the next, without, like, maybe you do have an idea of what you did or not. it's just like I find that like just very scary, and that's what you guys have to deal with like a lot of the time with forensic psychology. I'm kind of scared to go into that branch of forensics if it's all about just the human mind and how it reacts to different situations. Unless it does sound interesting, but it's also scary to me. Like personally, like the whole concept of that is scary because of like, how flawed our human mind is. Um, but it's also something that I could also be interested in. I also like the connection you and the polygraph expert that you were interviewing had. Like, I don't know. I like the back and forth conversation you guys. I know you're supposed to because it's an interview and all that, but it felt kind of personal. Like, I don't know. And also the fact that he explained the effect and neglect you can have to your family and everyone around you in that field. Not specifically that field of forensics, but just in general with the law enforcement. Like, I don't know, he got really deep into it, and I was just like, that's like a part I didn't think about. Okay, the main parts I usually think about is, am I gonna be able to like satisfy myself with the money, and will I have fun? And of course, how will I be able to help people? But I didn't really take account how I can affect others close to me. That's something I never really got into because I feel like now thinking about it, I feel like it's gonna take a lot of your time away and your mentality is gonna take a toll because you're focusing on so many important things and you have so much responsibility. And like in your whole life, it's gonna be hard to just take care of everyone and balance it all out. And I thought that was a really big eye opener for me. And I was like, damn.